Hi guys, I am back with another process video, and this week I'm going to be working on week 5 of my Project Life album. Now I'm going to be totally honest, I really struggled with this week. I just was not super inspired by anything, and I had a hard time picking my cards. I went with a One Little Bird set that I had found because it had this green card in it, and that matched some of my photos that I was using this week. And I used a couple other cards from that kit as well, but I also used some Becky Higgins cards and some just paper from my stash that I cut down to 3x4 cards, and it's just sort of a hodgepodge week, but it ended up turning out great, and I am overall pretty happy with it. So I'm just starting off by getting my title card taken care of. I am still using the Studio Calico stamp by One Little Bird to stamp the week number that I'm in. And this week I decided to stamp that week number on a smaller white card and then layer that on top of the bigger 4x6 card. I love the look of white on white, and I really like the subtle layer effect of layering these two white pieces of paper together. And so I get that position just how I like it. And I'm using my little cheat sheet there that you can see of all of the week numbers of this year. And I had somebody ask where I got that. I just typed into Google the week numbers for 2016, and this is the first thing that popped up. And so then I just printed it out. So I will put a link to where I found it, but when I did that, it looked like there was a ton of options that you could pick from, and I just ended up clicking the first one I saw. But anyway, like I said, I'll link to that if you're curious as to where I got that, but you can see that I just got my date stamped on there, and then I'm done with that card. So this first photo that I'm going to be working with is just a picture of my daughter and her little penguin friend. If you've been watching my Project Life this year, you'll know who that penguin is, and that it just is kind of a part of our family right now. I got that card that says the story from my currently Project Life Core Edition set, and I just cut it down. It was a 3x4 card, and I cut the little round corners off, and then I layered that on top of a white card. Now I was going to write something on this white sheet of paper and then layer it over that red card, but I ended up not doing anything. I kind of liked that it said love you, and it kind of just matched the story, so I just left that one plain and as is. So I pull out my next section of cards and photos and immediately start working on this picture that I took of my daughter outside of Target. We went to Target quite a few times this week. I'm doing an organizational project in my home right now, so I've been needing to buy a lot of things for that, and I've got to take this little cutie with me each time. But I snapped this photo just because she was wearing that red sweater and she was in the red car and there was the red Target sign in the back. But on there you saw me tape some strips of paper, and they say, "You're pretty much my favorite of all time in the history of ever." And that saying came on one of the cards from the set of One Little Bird cards that I'm using this week, and I just cut it out into strips so that I could put it on this photo. And then I start working on my first 3x4 card, and you'll see that I'm just writing on this tag, and then I'm going to clip it to the polka dot card. And what I wrote on there is first Target trip with this cutie, just to emphasize the fact that we made a lot of trips to Target, and that's sort of the story of this week. But I love the way this card looks. I just love the tag against that polka dot paper with the little clip. It's just perfect. But I get that done, and then I start working on my next 3x4 card. Now, this is a stamp set that I got off of Etsy. It's actually from, I think the shop is called Feed Your Craft, but I will put a link to it down below so that you can check it out if you want. But this is a stamp set designed by Brandy Kincaid, and I love Brandy. I've been following her for a long time, and I love her little doodles. And when I saw that she helped design this kit, I immediately purchased it without even looking at it too much. I just love it. And so, like I said, I'll definitely link to it down below. It came with a stamp set and some papers and some mini flair. It's just super cute. But I'm going to use one of these stamps that say, let's get takeout, because as you can see, I have a plate of takeout food, and so I thought that that was perfect. When I first stamped this, I didn't like it so much, and so I end up having to cut out another another little piece of white cardstock. That first piece is more rectangle, and this second time around I went more square. I'm just doing the whole white on white layer again. That seems to be a theme this week. But you can see here that my second attempt is more square, and I stamped that sentiment on there again, and the second time around it must have looked great because I accepted it. And then to add a little bit more, I took this little heart that I got from that same stamp set, and I get that stamped on there, and it just looks, I like the way that looks, just really simple and to the point. You can see that I just make sure to get my stamps back on their little sheet so that I don't lose them, and then I tape my little sentiment on my card. And a little bit later, when I take my cards over to my sewing machine, I will just stitch around this just to make it a little bit more special. And I love how this card turned out as well. I decided to take the opportunity to write a little bit more about this story, and so I just take a pen and I write around the white plate of my photo, and I just write that we went to Panda Express, and when we go there, I usually get a side of noodles or rice with a side of veggies, and so I jot that down really quick and then call that done. And then I bring out my next section of photos and cards. So as you can see, I took another card from that Currently core kit and cut it down a little bit. This one says documented, and I quickly jot down how I won Settlers of Catan. That's that game we're playing in that photo above. We've played that game a lot, but I never win, and I did this week, so I definitely needed to document that. And then I work on this yellow card, and I write down a quick note how we had went to Chipotle. The next door to my husband's work, they opened up a Chipotle, and so he got little invites to their little practice openings, so we went to that this week. And I think I wrote like, hello Chipotle, and thanks Tony for the hookup, or something like that. And then I need to apologize because my camera died and I didn't know it. So this is the last part you'll see, but I did add more photos than normal so that you could get a close-up of some of the other cards that I did and some of the embellishments that I added. So I just wanted to thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully we'll see you all very, very soon. All right, thanks. Bye-bye.